I've done a few shot calls and I haven't got anything to respond. And from my experience hunting in cold weather, I've actually hunted up here a few times. First week of turkey season, it's been snow on the ground. But it seems to me like typically when it's really cold, the birds respond more because it seems like the hens are going back to their nest quicker. Okay, so that God-given instinct when he created turkeys, he put it in them that they've got the hens got to go back and nest. So on those cold mornings, it seems like they go back to their nest quicker to incubate versus hanging around with the toms. On those warm mornings, a lot of times the toms get with the hens and then they go off. They don't respond, and then you got to wait till about 10 or 10:30 for the hens to eventually leave and go to the nest. But on these cold mornings, cold frosty mornings, it seems like I've had a lot of good success in turkey hunting, and especially early in the morning because the hens are leaving the toms and the toms are by themselves. But here's another look at this property here, and I haven't been up here in a few weeks, so my cardio is not in the best shape it's been. That's another good point. If you're going to turkey hunt, getting good cardiovascular condition. So I usually like to come up here every day, every other day. In about a week, you're going to tell a tremendous difference in your cardio because a lot of times you're going to strike a bird and you got to go to him versus deer hunting, you're going to sit in the stand all day. So keep that in mind too. But one of the things about the area that I hunt in is, and you can look this up on your state's website, we've got a low bird density. I think we've only got 5 to 9 birds per square mile, so that makes it a little more tougher. But we do have some counties that have 15 or more birds, so almost 3 times the amount of birds that we've got. And one of those counties is adjacent to my county, so if we don't do it good here, we may venture to this other county that's got a higher bird density. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to strike some birds. But early turkey season, like I said, remember what they're foraging on: the insects, the grubs, the acorns. You look around, it's all brown. So there's really no green forage that they can eat. So right now, focus on those winter forage foods, and then concentrate on that for your opening day, unless you get a nice early spring and things start to green up before your opening day. So, this is what, I think this is March the 8th. So I'm about a month away. I think our season opens April the 10th. So, if we get some warm temperatures in the 60s, some good rains, we might get a green up earlier. But if you don't, and you don't have that low vegetation, and stick to those winter forages, and I think you'll be in business for the start of turkey season. All right, we're getting close to this second bench. It's a pretty good climb. Well, that's one of the nice things about turkey hunting too. You just gotta be concerned with their eyesight and their hearing. Their sense of smell is pretty much non-existent. Versus deer hunting, you gotta be concerned with the way the wind's blowing. Turkey hunting, you don't have to worry about wind direction. Still haven't seen any sheds either. Second bench. Once again, you see how steep it is. so they can fly off either side. You know, they're 70, 80 feet in the tree. Of course, if you watch turkeys, they're just like chickens. They'll land in a limb and they'll move around until they find the exact spot they want to roost the night in. Now, I've killed a couple of birds in this area too, and I've fouled up on a few birds as well. And as you can see, this bench, I mean, it's probably 50, 60 yards in length and maybe 40 yards in width. But it's a good place for them to strut. I'm gonna leave this spot and go to another spot, and we're gonna go through some hawthorns. I don't know in what state you hunt in, but the state that I hunt in North Carolina, especially in the mountains, we have hawthorn apple trees, and they're native to this area, and the deer like them, the turkeys like them. They bear this, some people call them crab apples, but it's a tree. It's got real long thorns on it and bears this real small, maybe dime-sized fruit. Looks like an apple. Turkeys and the deer like it. So we're gonna move over that way, look for some turkey sign, and potentially look for a deer shed also. All right, so this is the main ridge, remember? We're talking about sunrise we saw a minute ago. So that's the east side. So we come off that bench. This is the main ridge. And now if I swing this around, starting to see the finger ridge right here. Small finger ridge coming off this main ridge. We're gonna go over there and look. In fact, there's a deer trail right here. Drop down a little bit. Fresh tracks on this trail. It tells me the deer haven't been using this area. This is March. In a while. But I would anticipate we'll see some sign. Speaking of which. So we're still walking through these hawthorns. And there's another ridge I want to go to and look for some turkey sign, because I have been up here before and someone walk in right on you, but that's, you know, that's public land. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm gonna keep walking through here, and this is still that hawthorn area. You can tell that the timber's a lot shorter as far as the height of the trees. So that's, you see these thorns I was telling you about. These are the trees that drop that small apple-like fruit. I don't know if there's any left though. If I see any, I'll grab some and I'll show you what I'm referring to. Okay, we've been walking probably another 15 and 20 minutes since the last time I turned the camera off. And we're getting real close to this second spot. I was talking about, I'm gonna cross this creek and you can kind of see ahead of you there. So we're gonna head up there. We'll get across this creek. Tell you, The sign is a little shabby. Now we've got a pretty good coyote population, and whenever I get an opportunity, you know, I'll shoot one of those as well. But I'm used to more turkey sign than what I'm seeing. Okay, we made it up to this other spot, and the sign's not super fresh, but as you can see right out in front, there is some scratch sign through here. And this is the freshest I found, but even this looks a few days old. So, you know, I'm not on the latest and greatest, I guess, from that standpoint. So we'll keep looking, but all we're doing is making mental notes right here early. Like I said, this is still late winter, so sign may be sparse. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook down this main ridge since we're almost to the top, and a lot of times I've seen some sign there as well. So we'll just keep looking. I mean, it's just like scouting for deer sign. You know, you keep scouting, keep going back to places where you've seen sign before or where you've harvested an animal before, and you look at it because, you know, they have patterns. They're in a routine. You know, it's just like that deer we saw earlier, and I was talking about, well, walking on this deer trail and don't see any tracks, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a deer. They may come through every third or fourth, fifth day, who knows? So, you know, they have a routine just kind of like we have a routine as well. So just keep looking. Like I said, look for those steep slopes. It could be something over a creek. A lot of times turkeys will roost over a steep facing slope that's adjacent to a creek. Sometimes they don't. You know, in the area that I'm in, I've seen both happen. That one place I was telling you about that's got the 60-degree slopes on it, there's a small branch or creek that runs through it in a really deep holler. So I have seen them roost down in there, but more often I've seen them roost near the top on that steep facing. Like I said, you got a 20 pound bird, and when he takes off, the steeper it is, the higher he can get into those, he or she can get in those trees. You know, if you're talking about a Jenny or a Jake or a Tom. But look for those steep facing slopes, look for the acorns, look for the winter food right now. And then, like I said, pay attention to your area, the weather. You're starting to get the green up, and then, you know, I like to just kind of check the pulse of everything. Go back a few times. You know, one time's not enough. Go back several times. Scout, refine it. You know, make all your mental notes or write them down in a notebook, but go back and verify and make sure everything's staying the same, or is it changing? And that way you'll be ready for opening day. All right, after a few hours of hiking and going to several spots, this is probably our fourth or fifth. I'll have to go back and take a look. This is probably the fifth spot we looked, and trying to find the fresh turkey sign. This is the freshest I found. This is probably, the dirt's not yet dried, still relatively moist. I say this is probably within the day or two. Yeah, I got some more over here. You can see a few acorns in there too. So the ground's not completely dried out yet. So they work their way up this ridge, and this is that main ridge, and if I keep walking back down this way, we'll hit those benches that we were on earlier. So, you know, just be diligent about your scouting. Keep looking until you find what you're looking for, okay? And in this case, we was looking for the freshest sign. So that tells me these birds are working up this ridge, so they're roosting here somewhere. So a lot of times I'll follow the scratch sign out, and it's gonna stop. Obviously, when they're in the tree, they're gonna fly down, then they start scratching. So follow the scratch sign out, and usually that's gonna end if you're going in the right direction where the roost trees are at. So fortunately, we were able to find that. So we're gonna end this video on a high note. We found that fresh sign. We're gonna make a mental note. Obviously, this is still early March. This is March the 8th. So we've still got just over a month to go. And we'll see if anything changes from now till the opening season. But pretty good start. Saw several deer beds, and we got some fresh turkey sign. So we'll see you next time.